Well, good day to all of our awesome JubiRev JubiMax family members. It was a wonderful night of sleep last night, waking up to a glorious morning this morning. Why? Because we are moving, we are moving in the right direction. We know the last couple of weeks have been tough. It's been tough for you, it's been tough for me, it's been tough for your teammates because there's been this uncertainty. What's going on? What's going to happen? Yes, I understand, T. Lamont, that I'm excited that the company is making the moves to be far less exposed based on what the battery of attorneys and consultants are now saying. So I'm excited about that. I'm with you on that. I love the new bonuses. I'm starting to get my head around that 1K, 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 boom, 10K. 1K, 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 boom, 10K. I'm starting to get my mind wrapped around that. I can see that. And then I hear people like Dave Kaninsky saying, you know what? I actually made more money in my first 9 months with a company that had a bonus structure similar to what Juby is adopting than I did in the revenue sharing space. I actually realized more money. All right, I get that. I'm coming up to that because I had my memorial service of the way revenue sharing, the way we've come to love her and adore her over the past couple of years. I've had my memorial service. I understand that long term there's got to be changes. Okay, I'm coming to that. I get that, but I got a challenge, T. Lamont. Okay, what is it? What is it? I can probably tell you what it is. I've got a challenge, T. Lamont. I've got points, and my points may be retiring in the next few days because I'm Jade and my points have an 80-day life cycle, or I'm Ruby and my points have an 85-day life cycle, or I'm Emerald and my points have a 95-day life cycle, or I'm Diamond and my points have a 105-day life cycle. I understand that the daily leadership bonus is down. I understand why it's down. I understand it's down because there's not as much revenue. I understand it's down because there's not as much revenue because we are going through this transition. I understand that leaders are saying, okay, let me see what's going on before I go and get new customers right now or get new affiliates, promoters coming aboard. I understand that impacts the daily leadership bonus. And while I don't like it, I'm cool with it because I want to wake up and I want to see my company still there in the morning. I want to wake up and see that, hey, we're going to be here for the long haul. I'm starting to understand the vision that we're going to be here for the long haul. This is not a 12-month run, not a 24-month run, but what about my points? They're not earning as much, so I don't want them just to vanish away in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And what about my points? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know the full details. Corporate will share with us the full details. However, before I got on our webinar last night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I had a conversation with management about a number of things. And one of those was, T. Lamont, tell your folks, they can exhale. That there's going to be an extension of the life cycle of battery of points. Now, this won't be forever and ever, amen. What I have come to understand is there's going to be some type of grandfathering provision, right? A grandfather date. Hey, if you got so many points by this date, all right, then those points are going to get an extension, a life extension, if you will, okay? Why? Because the company is fully aware that we're going through this transition, and while going through this transition, that revenues are down, and will probably stay down for a while, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just be honest here. Why? Because not only are we going through the transition, but then people are getting their heads wrapped around the new modifications and having to shift their thinking. I've had to shift my thinking over what I've been doing, what I've been promoting, how I've been promoting over the last 2 years. All right, so I'm making that shift. You'll begin making that shift. And then the new enhancements, which will start to take effect maybe as early as next week. All right, so then we start making the shift, and then, okay, all right, This is where we're going. This is where we're headed. Gotcha. So it still may take some time to get those revenues up. And then remember what we've been telling you is that ultimately that the company is not going to be putting 50% of the revenues into the DLB. Particularly because of the moves that the company is making. So this is what's going to wind up happening, ladies and gentlemen, okay? All right. There's going to be some extension of your point. So this is what I want you to do. At the count of 3, I want you to exhale. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, again, I don't know. I know some time frames that are being discussed, but I don't want to overstep my bounds. I'll let corporate share that information as to that. Now, what I want us to do as a team is, if you haven't already had your memorial service as to how we've come to love and adore revenue sharing. And listen, I know that some folks are saying, well, let me go over to this company here. Let me go over to that company. They have revenue sharing. I'm going to tell you. You feel free to do that. And you know me. I'm never going to rain on your entrepreneurial parade. I'm never going to do that, okay? You do what you feel is best for your family. But I just want you to understand, I now have a much greater understanding, having spoken with the consultants and what have you, as to why these changes must occur. There are even traditional MLMs that have U.S.-based affiliates or U.S.-based customers. I mean, it's got nothing to do with our view of revenue sharing, that are having to make modifications because the regulators, essentially, they're really honing in on making sure that companies, that the revenues coming into the company's coffers, that more of the revenues that's coming in from the company coffers are coming from customers, retail customers making purchases, as opposed to the affiliates or the promoters making purchases. Let me say that again. Whether it's a company that we would call a revenue sharing company or not, or just a traditional MLM, if it is operating, if it's got affiliates, if it's got customers in the U.S., what I was told by one of the new compensation plan consultants that the company has is that even traditional companies, this is why perhaps we saw companies like Fortune High Tech that had nothing to do with the revenue sharing world as we have come to know her, have some challenges, because the regulators are honing in and saying, hey, you've got to have, in terms of your revenue, you've got to have more of your revenue coming from outside customers that have nothing to do with your income model than promoters. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that right there, that is what makes any company that has a revenue sharing model, the way we've come to love her and adore her, that's what gives any of those models tremendous exposure. Why? Because if every day that you earned, you were taking what you were earning and you were purchasing more, and that's considered revenue, then how do you offset that with enough customer volume? And so that's really one of the biggest challenges, okay? Now, so having said that, and we've discussed that at length on our webinars, okay? We've discussed that at length on our webinars. If you are not regularly attending our team webinars, I strongly suggest that you make sure you're registered. Once you register once, you'll be registered for all of our team webinars, and you'll get your webinar announcements and what have you. I also strongly suggest that if you're not a part of our email list, that you become a part of our email list. An easy way to do so is to simply send an email to JubiRevTeam@aweber.com, and that'll put you into our AWeber list, so that we can keep you updated. We can make sure that if, let's say, there's a corporate webinar, and maybe you didn't quite get something, didn't quite understand something, then you come on to our team webinar and we can break it down a little bit more, so on and so forth. Our vision for you and your family, our vision for you and our entire team has never wavered, all right? Methods may have to be modified, but it has never, ever wavered. So I want you, at the count of 3, to exhale, knowing that your points are going to be giving a longer lifespan, all right? And I'm not talking about an extra week or two, all right? quite a bit longer lifespan, so that we don't have to be so focused on, well, what was the reward per point for the day? All right, well, maybe it was higher, maybe it was lower, but my points are going to earn for a longer period of time. And now we're going to start focusing on getting you getting your A team, we've heretofore called it home team, getting your A team solidified so that you become a max team leader, getting you and your max team, getting you making those 1K, 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 boom, 10K bonuses. 1K, 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 boom, 10K bonuses. All right, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, get this video out to all of your teammates. Let them know, 1, 2, 3, exhale. We're moving in the right direction. We're moving in the right direction. We're moving in the right direction. We love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours.